Let's look at how to calculate the 5-number summary, sample average, and the sample standard deviation using technology, whether that be an 83, 84, or 89 calculator or using GeoGebra. And the process is very similar for all of them. I'm going to start with my 84 that I have open here on the side. I'm going to go and hit the Stat button and then enter where it says Edit. And in list 1 here, I'm going to type in all of those X values I have. In this case, 2, 7, 9, and 12. I'm keeping this a pretty short list. After I type this in, I hit the Stat button again, and I'm going to choose the option up top for Calculate. So to get there, I'm going to hit the right arrow, and then the very first option is exactly what I want, one variable statistics. Now, if you're on a TI-83, it's just going to take you back to the home page and it's going to say 1var stats. You can hit enter and it's going to immediately give you your numbers. If you're on an 84, it's going to ask you where your list is. And you need to make sure it says list 1 because that's where we typed our data. Down here at the bottom, you may notice in blue, I do have the option for L1. So I'm going to hit blue 1 to pull up that option. I'm going to hit enter a couple of times. And then it gives me my values. So my average is 7.5. My sample standard deviation is 4.2. If this happened to be the entire population, my population standard deviation would be 3.64. And scrolling down, I have the minimum Q1, the median Q3, and the maximum. I have my 5-number summary. Let me show you how to do the same thing now using a TI-89 calculator. So here we are with our TI-89. I'm turning it on. I hit the apps button. These are in alphabetical order. I'm looking for the one that says StatList Editor. If your calculator doesn't have this, you may have a link cable that came with it. Make sure to link that to your computer and find the program StatList Editor. You can find that by just sort of Google searching it, and then upload it into your calculator using something like TI Connect. If you need help with that process, feel free to email me, and I'd be happy to help you out with that as well. But I'm going in here. In the rare case that you have data typed in that you need to get rid of, so if, for example, if I wanted to clear out my list 2, you can always select the name of the list and hit the clear button and then enter to clear out a list. So fresh start here, I'm typing in list 1, 2, 7, 9, and 12. I didn't need to have that previous list cleared, but it looks nicer. I'm going to choose the option for F4 for calculate now. And just as before, I'm going to look for the option that says 1var stats, and that's my very first option there. It asks me where my list is. Make sure it says list 1, because that's where we typed in the data. And I'm leaving everything else alone. So frequency as 1, and everything else, I'm not touching it. I'll hit enter and enter again. X bar, my sample average. There's my sample and population standard deviation. And down at the bottom, I've got my minimum, first quartile, median, third quartile, and maximum. I have the 5-number summary. So on both of these calculators, I'm going into the option for 1var stats. Let me show you how to do this now in GeoGebra. So when you open up GeoGebra, there should be an option for spreadsheet. Select it. In the first column here in A, I'm going to type in the numbers. And my example numbers for this problem were 2, 7, 9, and 12, so I'm typing those in again. I'm going to select the data that I want to analyze by just clicking on it and pulling it down there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the thing that looks like a histogram, I'm going to analyze the one var stats, one variable analysis. And this gives me a histogram. Now this was my method of actually coming up with any of these graphs. So for example, I can make a box plot or whatever, but I wanted the numbers. So as a final step here, I'm going to choose the option up at the top that has the sigma x. And when I click that, it gives me my mean or my average. It gives me my population and my sample standard deviation, my sigma and my s. And down at the bottom, I have my minimum, Q1, median, Q3, and maximum. So using all technology, ultimately the process is twofold. One, type in your data. Second thing I need to do there, one variable analysis.